What's up, everybody? Brett here, back today playing some more Ball Pit. Picking up a few days after where we left off last time. I have not recorded for a few days. Hopefully, for those of you who have been following my YouTube channel, that hasn't bothered you too much. Kind of a weird last 7 days for me. Been going hard at the jiu-jitsu. Started teaching myself how to play banjo. A friend of mine, a jiu-jitsu buddy of mine, actually gave me a banjo. And ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to learn how to play. So I kind of started picking and strumming this week. And I wanted to kind of focus on that. But anyway, weird little aside there. But we're back playing some Ball Pit. We're going to harvest before we go ahead and jump into the gameplay here. I think at the end of the last episode, like I said, it's been a few days. We unlocked some stuff. And we're going to see what that is. Man, what is this? I think this is a new character. Which would be pretty cool to get at the beginning of today's episode, if that is indeed what that is. Might not be. Or did we unlock some new characters that we haven't played yet already? I don't know, man. No, it's a wheelwright and the gory trophy. Okay. Did we have new characters? I could have sworn. We did. Okay, so we have two... No, I played as these. Huh. Man, that's how out of it I've been, guys. I don't remember. I don't remember playing as these characters. Did I do it off camera? That's possible. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into a run. And in the off chance that I played these off camera, we're going to take them for our current run into the gory grasslands. We need more keys in order to unlock the lift. So, what did we do? Looks like maybe we took these two together. Egg sack plus lightning into the boneyard. These characters are very low level, so maybe we just take these same two characters into the snowy shores. What do you do? Balls bounce normally off the bottom of the screen. Okay, so the balls don't return to me. Okay, it's starting to come back to me. I'm starting to remember what this deal was. And then allows balls in the air to target... Ah, and you were like a mortar. Okay, I remember. This was kind of an interesting combo. What do you do? Shoots all balls at the same time in a wide arc. And now you've already done... I was going to say, because we haven't... There's other characters we have that we haven't done. Like, the shield bearer is kind of a neat guy, and we've only played him once, I believe. Sure, let's take the shield bearer. Man, I'm curious if the shield bearer's shield, the balls bounce from the bottom, and then they hit the back of his shield. I wonder if that's a thing. Anyway, let's take the shield bearer. Let's partner him with the juggler. Iron and lightning, baby. And let's just, for the sake of warming up my hands and my vocal cords, let's go ahead and get this going. Can I hit the ball? Yeah, very weird. So what was the strat last time? Was I just... We're just going to take balls. I think I was just kind of shooting stuff into the back. Or in any holes that we ended up making. But I need to be aware of the shield bearer mechanics. I can't just kind of blindly play this character. And for the sake of, like, being able to not go cross-eyed, it's very easy to keep the reticle just up at the top. Do we want to go for effigy build? Let's do that. Those are fun. They're fun and they're kind of brainless as well, if I'm being honest, as I warm up for today's episode. I'm going to be trying to record quite a few things today and get all that stuff off my plate. That's the fun stuff. When I say get off my plate, I don't mean like I don't want to do it. It's more like I've got like 6 other things I'd like to get done today. This is a new item that we unlocked. The hand fan. Slow down enemies in the same column as you by 50%. A very interesting item, I might add. And if the horizontal ball wasn't here, I would probably take that. Wow, we got pretty damn unlucky with that. Lobbing in the back and then just trying to pay attention to where my shield is. Or does, you know what, this, I think I should have paired this guy with the one that bounces from the back. I think that would have been a more interesting combo. Not having the balls returned to me. I'm trying to think, maybe that's better? If the balls are just perpetually bouncing, then I can truly just focus on getting the hits playing Pong. Playing some Brick Breaker. So if we're going for effigies, which we are, I think when you take your first effigy, you're kind of locked in. Artificial Heart for double HP on the effigy, I think is huge. Not only does that allow it to do more damage to the enemies, I think sometimes we can hurt our own effigies. Is that the case? If that's the case, then it makes them more durable against our own attacks, which may inadvertently kill them. Did they change this? Something feels different about this ball, or did I just never notice this before? It looks like a roly-poly. The game did a little update before I started playing, so I was wondering, I was like, huh. I wonder what they change and if they change anything meaningful. They could have very easily added some cool designs to the balls. So we're going to go ahead and get the lightning rod. I think we're strong enough in this game at this point where we can we don't have to min-max our evolutions too much at this particular level with these particular merged characters. And all the power-ups that we have back at home. As we try to beat the next stage, which I remember now, the Gory Grasslands was that very cool kind of African-themed, Savannah-themed map. Or board, I don't even know what to call it. Alright, so we're just going to shoot the balls behind. See, if we keep returning our own serve, as we're doing with this ball here, then we're not going to get a chance to lob it. Which is pretty detrimental. And that's why I was saying earlier that I think it may actually be kind of a bad synergy, and the other synergy that we could have taken with the flagellant would have been better. Ooh, I like that. In this very specific instance, it's really bad because you can see the shield. I'm just kind of bouncing the ball off of the front shield of this guy, and it's being completely ineffective. I was going to say, could really use some upgrades here because we need our balls to level 3 before we can evolve them. Would really love to see another effigy of some kind. We have quite a few unlocked. One of those could show up in the levels. Yeah, like if I'm not paying attention, I get caught up in a pattern of like just hitting the back of this archer. See this? You know, if you ever played Pong, you can kind of put English on the ball. And by English, I think that's like a pool or billiards term. Where it's like you spin the ball by hitting it kind of quickly, going in like a lateral motion. And it doesn't have that much English in this game off the shield bearer. Emit a radiation beam that on hit deals 40 to 81 damage and applies 1 stack of radiation. Max 5 stacks, okay. And they receive 10% more damage from all sources. Pretty good. Yeah, give me the green laser beams, baby. We'll take a shadow ball. I would have probably taken any ball there. Yeah, this is a weird combo. I'm like incentivized not to catch most of the balls on this particular stage because they block so many of the attacks that I do. And because I can't really put a lot of English on the ball, maybe I'm just not fast enough. It's very weird. It just doesn't... you get stuck hitting up and down in a column. Lord, I'm sitting here, I'm kind of zoning out a little bit, even though I'm talking, but sort of thinking about a road raid incident that I had earlier today. Was headed to Target when they opened to get some groceries, and right next to the Target, well, not right next to, but pretty close to the Target where I live is like a PetSmart, some kind of pet store, whatever. And this old guy in front of me pulled up in a big SUV and parked on the curb, basically, for a second. And whatever, people do that sometimes. They run in or they drop someone off to go get stuff. And I was like, okay, and I just go around him. And he's not paying attention, which also happens, fine. And he goes to pull out from where he was parked for a moment and almost drives his SUV directly into me. And doesn't stop as he sees that I'm, you know, parallel with him, driving past him. And then, you know, in a moment of embarrassment, as most people do when they get caught being kind of goofy, this is really good for us. The Golden Bull generates gold and is an effigy with a lot of HP. So, you know, I kind of, in the moment I understood for a second, I was like, oh, you know, he's an old guy, big beard, driving a big SUV. My neighbor's an elderly guy who drives a vehicle that he can't handle. It gives me a little bit of empathy. He's wrecked it several times in the last, like, month. He's got, like, a Dodge Charger, and he's got legs that don't work, and he drives them. It's insane. It's a whole nother insane story. But, anyway... So I'm perfectly willing to accept that this guy is just a little bit embarrassed. You know, that he kind of got caught slipping. Let's add the Broodmother Ball to the radiation beam. Curious what that does. Has a 45 chance of birthing a baby ball each time it hits an enemy. That's crazy. I had a feeling that's what would happen, but that's very strong. But anyway, so yeah, I'm about to chalk it up to, oh yeah, he just wasn't paying attention. He starts yelling, but I'm like, yeah, he's probably just embarrassed. He got caught. And I'm like, okay. You know, if we're standing face to face, this guy would not yell at me. I'm not a crazy intimidating guy, but I'm also not a guy you look at and think you can yell at his face. So, it's the early morning. We're like the only people in this big parking lot. We're going to two different places, but the parking lot is like shared. So I go to get out of my truck, and I look over and I see that he's parked, you know, kind of across the parking lot, but he starts yelling. Like aggressively at me. And I'm not about to fight some very, you know, gray-haired man. But I'm also not going to just stand there and get yelled at. So it kind of puts me in this weird catch-22 where I'm just like standing there looking at him until he stops yelling. I guess till he kind of realizes that what he's doing is silly. We'll fuse these two here. And he's yelling, what did he yell? He said some pretty wild stuff. Look at the damage on that. That's nuts. 5x damage. So this is probably a bad combo too, because we want them to make the lightning rods, but how are we going to make the lightning rods if the balls destroy themselves? I don't know, man. That's for bigger minds than mine to decipher. So yeah, what did he say? He said, geez, man, you don't have any patience or something like that. He was kind of an oldish hippie. An aggressive old hippie. What a weird combo. Anyway. I don't like getting yelled at early in the morning when I'm kind of already in a bad mood, trying to get into a good mood. Sort of where my head was at this morning. The next thing you know, I'm dealing with this, you know. I'll just call him a jerk. You just gotta ignore people like that. I try not to let it bother me, but it's nice to come on here and talk about it. Like, I've been that guy. I've accidentally not seen a car and pulled out and then spazzed for a second and be like, "Ah, you idiot." But then really I'm like, "Ah, you were the idiot, Brett." Like, you know. You were, you know, looking at something else, or you just really genuinely didn't see them. It's not their fault, it's your fault. It's okay. But then I've never gotten out of my vehicle and then yelled to the point where if he was a more aggressive looking individual instead of an old man, where I might feel the need to defend myself. That's weird. Road rage, man, is spooky. If you're younger and listening to this, which I don't think most of my very small demographic is young. I think most of you guys are either my age or around my age. I'm in my mid-30s. You already know. You don't need me to tell you road rage is bad. But it feels like every day I check out my local news. I live in San Antonio. I check out my local news pretty much every morning for at least 5-10 minutes. I read news stories, and there's almost always a road rage incident that leads to like a felony. Not always murder or something, but more murders than you would feel comfortable with. Everywhere I've ever been, and everyone I've ever talked to from a different place, and I was in the Army, so I met a lot of people who are from a lot of places. They always talk about how the place where they're from, the place where they live, is the worst for driving. San Antonio is pretty bad. It's pretty bad, for a lot of reasons. But getting on and off the interstate is a nightmare for reasons that it really shouldn't be. I'm not always, like, the most passive driver, but, like, I let people merge. So many people I've known just, they drive so aggressively even when the stakes are so low that it's like, what are you trying to do, man? You're just going to get hurt or get someone else hurt, or you could get somewhere 30 seconds faster. This is not really a hot take. This is something we've probably all thought. But it's real. Alright, it's dodge time. Not great, Bob, but was what it was. The effigies are doing a lot of work for me here as I warm up today. Like I said, I'm going to be recording some other stuff. I want to get back to recording some Final Fantasy. Let's see, can we just hit this guy directly? Because that would be pretty neat. Yeah, some Final Fantasy Tactics is going to be on the plate today. I still have been waiting to record Hades 2. It's a game that I'm very excited to play. So you would ask, like, why aren't you playing it? And it's like, well, I don't know, man. There's movies, I'm weird like that. There's movies that, like, I've waited for a long time. And then when they come out, you would think I would rush to the theater to watch them. We got an achievement there. Complete the Snowy Shores with 10 different characters. Cool. But, like, I end up waiting. I get, like, I don't know, some kind of weird anxiety. Like, I just don't want them to be bad. Or for me to not like them. And also, I want to enjoy them in, like the right time. I want to, as the kids would say now, I want to, like, catch a vibe, man. I want to feel it and then jump into it and really enjoy it. If I'm having a weird day and I sit down to play or watch something that I know I would otherwise really love, then it runs the risk, you know, unfortunately, of making it so that I just have a bad first impression or first experience with a thing that I otherwise would have really liked. Does that make sense? I don't know. That's how I feel, though. Let's return to base. Man, we're looking like Zion from the Matrix with this crazy setup we've got. So we've got a lot of resources. I don't know what, if anything, we can upgrade. I don't know what I even care to upgrade. Let's just go. Nah, do we waste? No. I think we should always, pretty much, if we have the ability. So this is the thing that if we die, we get revived with health. This would revive us with full health. So here's the thing. This is cool and all, but I will say that almost every time I've ever died in this game, coming right back to life probably would not have saved the run. Because you usually die, from my experience in this game, from being completely overrun. Oh, I didn't even think that I could upgrade that. That was an oversight on my part. Yeah, you die from getting overrun. So being revived just kind of, unless it does something that I'm not aware of, it just sort of puts you back in the midst of being overrun, in which case you'd probably simply be overrun one more time. Get a bunch of bounces and just finish this. Got a lot of wheat. We need more wood and we need more stone. Can probably focus on that. Need more gold too. So I've got a bunch of extra characters. I probably should build some more gold mines and just stick the characters in. Nice. Happy we finished that. Cool. So on death we revive with 50% health. Let us build... What is this? Stone mine, gold mine. So this actually has to be bounced on. So my bad for sticking this out here. This should always be sort of in the zeitgeist of bounces. That doesn't make any sense, but I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. And whatever, we'll throw that up there. And with that, we'll go ahead and jump into another run. So the flagellant, they bounce off the bottom of the screen. That's pretty cool. We've got some bonus gold characters. I've typically had such bad luck with this guy. The Repentant. Balls deal 5% more damage each time they bounce, but when they hit the back wall, they return to the player. Damaging each enemy they pass through. That's an important... Let's go ahead, and I'm going to try to take this character to the Dagori Grasslands, but who do we partner them with? That's the real question. We've got the warrior who has no special ability at all. I don't know, man. Let's try that. I feel like we haven't taken the warrior anywhere in a while. It's like your girlfriend. Y'all been Netflix and chilling way too much every week instead of trying to go out in the world and do stuff. Yeah, it's old, man. You gotta do some stuff. Speaking of doing stuff, I went to a comedy show last night. I don't know if any of you guys out there are comedy fans. Oh, that's cool. We'll take that. Excuse me. I went to the Majestic Theater downtown. Pretty cool old theater. I've seen a few shows there with me and my ex. And we'll take we'll take that too. Very cool. Now we got some options. What kind of balls we want to make. But yeah, I saw, in case any of you guys are comedy fans, I saw Dan Soder. He was the headliner. Pretty cool. He's a guy I always listen to on podcasts. Very positive, very upbeat. His opener was Brennan Sagalow. Do any of you guys know who that is? Sag Daddy. To be honest, there's some comedians that I think are hilarious on podcasts, but when their stand-up for me is just kind of whatever. And unfortunately, Dan, like, as much as I love him and his observation, I think his stand-up is great. It just wasn't hitting me. Yeah, it just wasn't hitting me last night. I wasn't in the best mood either, but it also just wasn't hitting me. But Brennan Sagalow was hilarious. Very physical. He's kind of a big, sort of chubby guy. Well, I said big chubby guy. He's actually a very short, very chubby guy. And he's hilarious. And he was doing a ton of physical comedy, mixing that up. It was just good. It was a good time. It was all right. So this is the Nambo with what we currently have. We'll go ahead and banish that. Crits are cool. Bonus crits. Let's go ahead and roll. Our balls are all level 3, which is why we're only getting these options, which is... These are good. Sure. We just want a million bounces, man. We just want to become the bounce lords. You know what might have messed me up a little bit too? I was very sober. Watching a comedy show, which maybe that's not the move. That's a decent nombo of what we've currently got as well. So we're gonna go ahead and pass on that. So this is pretty cool. Rubber headband, something we haven't made much use of. But with this particular character, the Repentant, who wants bounces, I mean, that speeds up very quickly. And the quicker the balls bounce, the faster they get done doing their business, and then end up ultimately returning to us. They need to have more than 2 bounces, though, in order to really get the benefit from that, like, DPS boost. But if we can make, like, a pocket like this and just go wild... Yeah, we're not going to pass that, don't worry. So we've got some cool evolution options. The Frozen Flame adds 1 stack of Frostburn on hit for 20 seconds, max 4 stacks. Frostburst units are dealt damage per stack and receive 25% more damage from other sources. This just makes a big-ass bomb. And it's very slow. And then the Hemorrhage inflicts 3 stacks of bleed when hitting an enemy with 12 stacks of bleed or more, consumes all stacks of bleed. So this really wants to be paired with some AoE. Like, fuse it with, like, a ghost ball, for instance. We get a little bit of a ghost ball effect when the balls hit the back and bounce back towards us. Honestly, this is probably the best ball we currently have as it stands alone. These two would be amazing with something else. I'm going to take this one because it keeps us... We still have options because of the Iron Ball. We'll still have an evolution. We'll see how that does. Probably would want to reroll there to try to get a 4th ball, but it's okay. Didn't have the cash. Trying to think of what else I've been up to. I downloaded finally. I'm so resistant to downloading apps, man. I hate it. For a lot of reasons. But when I was a younger dude and in the military, I learned Russian a long time ago. And I used to be pretty good at it, man. That, you know, as good as you can be at a language, not be like a native speaker. I was pretty good. I could read, write, you know, speak pretty well. I could easily make conversation, but more technical stuff, you know, I'd have to learn words and things. Anyway, I was pretty proficient. It was cool. But over the last decade plus, I've really slacked. I went when I got my master's degree, I took like a college course, and part of that course was like a Russian class, and I was like, oh great, it'll be like a refresher for all my language training. And a lot of my Russian will come back to me, but the class was so poor, to be honest. Most of the people in the class had very little Russian. So it was at such a level that it wasn't even really beneficial. So anyway, long story short, I decided to go ahead and download apps like Duolingo and Babbel. And I'm debating paying the subscription, man. Because right now... Oh, interesting. They both make the same ball. Okay, that's cool. I think that might be the first time I've ever seen that. Different combos making the same ball. That's very weird. Anywho, so I started using them yesterday. I'm always riding my exercise bike, so I'm like, whenever I'm sitting on that thing, I can either like watch YouTube videos or do something a little more productive. We got a new blueprint. Sweet, the Gatherer's Hut. Assign a character here to automatically send them out to harvest in a preset direction every 10 minutes. Workers can harvest for 10 seconds. Oh wow, you can really automate your town with that. If I'm reading that right and I'm understanding what its potential is. Okay, we need to make a groove here. We got to get some bounces going, man. I'm yapping and not killing. But yeah, started using the app yesterday, and I was kind of having a good time with Duolingo. See, I don't know why they're doing this, but they are moving fast as hell now. And this is not good for me. Okay, we're just trying to get high DPS. See, they stopped. Man, is one of these units forcing them to do that? Is there like a leader? Oh no, we're getting crushed. I know there's different guys here, but I don't see the one that's causing it. Are we gonna die? Don't die. Yeah, man, I gotta figure out the secret to this. Because this is bad. So we're gonna revive here. We're gonna get a chance to see how the revival works. I'm wondering if it clears the board at all for us. Because if it doesn't, we're literally just gonna die. Yeah, I died. So it did. It cleared the front row. Interesting. Okay. So it buys me another couple seconds. I've had a few runs where I've lost. We really need an AoE of some kind. And we haven't had, like, any. Like, I could have taken the bomb earlier, and maybe that was a mistake not to. Man, that was a hard hit. Maybe my bouncers are kind of whack. But we're going to die here in just a second. Yeah. Damn, we tried. I think that was a good effort. I didn't love the balls that we had, especially not with these characters. Let's return to base. Let's bounce. We'll build this thing, but I'm not going to mess with it today. I might mess with it a little bit off camera and have you guys come back and we'll feng shui the build a little bit. Harvest and I am curious what this looks like, though. Expansion, we don't have enough money for that. Let's just go ahead and harvest. Yeah, if any of you guys have any experience with Babbel, with Duolingo, let me know what you thought about them. I enjoyed the kind of the gamification of Duolingo, but Babbel for free is trash. It's literally nothing. It doesn't do anything. We'll just upgrade this stuff while we're here. We don't have the stone. We really need more stone, I guess. As always, we'll just check real quick to see if there's anything beneficial that we can upgrade. Can upgrade the casino. We haven't even been using that, though. We do. Nah, we use it. We reroll. But that 1,000 gold hurts because we were going to use that to expand. Yeah, I feel like, you know, it shouldn't even come as a surprise to me that using apps for free is so much worse than the paid version. But I don't even know if the paid version is going to be worth it. That's kind of where I'm at. Man, I really want to knock out the gory grasslands today, if possible. It might not be possible. Ball shoot from the back, mixed with... Who's the character that has the ghost balls? It's this guy. They pierce until they hit the wall. We'll take you. So So this guy doesn't want to hit the wall. Let's try this guy. Bit of a shotgun build here. I gotta tell you, I don't have high hopes for this one, but we'll see. Just the one character is so low, his stats are low. So in order for this to not get debuffed, we need to sort of be really close to the enemy. So that way the balls pass through. This might be a bit of a nombo as well. By that I mean the synergy is just kind of weak. Okay, I don't really want to do another effigy build, though we could. Could go spiked collar and kind of get up in people's faces, which I just said is sort of what we want to do in order to maximize the damage of the spread and minimize the amount of wall hitting that we're going to do. It's an interesting idea. I don't think we're gonna do that. Let's just take let's see if the effigy build carries us today, as my brain struggles to function at a level necessary to talk and play at the same time. You know, I mean, this we really could have used, and it's almost good enough to make me think that we don't need to lean all the way into the effigies. What we really wanted last run was wave clear, and this is wave clear. And it's almost, the numbers aren't huge, but it's almost as good as having another ball. Oop, got too close. Flew too close to the sun there. Me and Icarus have a lot in common. Come on, big money. I was about to say last time we got one thing. And we proceeded to get one thing again. Love a freeze ball. Probably would have also been prudent to take that magic wand there. It boosts the strength of our... I want to make sure we killed that guy. It boosts the strength of our AoE damage. And if I can help it, we're going to have really good AoE damage for this particular run. Getting the pressure cooker fully leveled, pretty sweet. The piercing it is making it really easy for us to target the specialty enemies. Stay in their faces. I was going to say, if we just get one thing again, I'm going to be pretty peeved. Because we have lots of room for upgrades, especially our balls. See how much damage we're doing to the bull? That's what I was saying earlier about damaging our own effigies. He's not even getting a chance to move up. But he is dying and giving me a bunch of gold, which is kind of cool. And by a bunch, I mean probably a small, irrelevant amount, but it's all good. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And the bank account with $1 billion in it begins with a single penny. Unless you're a trust fund kid, in which case... Or a Nepo baby. In which case it probably begins with a lot more money. I'm very curious if this makes our run amazing or terrible. But I haven't gotten that item in a while, so we're going to test it out. I could sit down and reason through why it would either be good or bad, but We're playing ball pit. I don't want to reason that much. I'm trying to think of what else is going on in like the gaming world. I'm a huge Total War Warhammer 3 fan. I don't know if there's any of y'all out there besides me. And we got some big news yesterday. They launched a pretty cool little like teaser trailer showing off a lot of the new units and stuff for a second. Wasn't as much info as I would have loved to get, but I'm looking forward to that. Next DLC drops beginning of December. A Norska, Dark Elf, and High Elf. Wait, Norska, Slanesh, and High Elf DLC. Sorry. A lot of the new units on the other roster are actually Dark Elf. I know, I'm just speaking gibberish if you don't know what I'm talking about, but very excited. I'm very nerd excited for a fun DLC expansion to a video game that I love to play, but haven't played recently because there is no new stuff to play. So this is a problem. We don't have huge single target damage. Man, he needs a lot, huh? This is cool. I don't get hit by a lot of projectiles. I think we have to hope and pray that we can kill this guy. I think what's going to happen is he's going to kill us. And then we're going to revive and maybe have a chance to have killed him. We're clearing AoE-wise, but our single target's too weak. The consequences of my own actions coming back to bite me. I'm hoping that our boy there can do some work. By picking up that ghost passive, we've made it so that our... I mean, the bull is saving us right now. We made it so that our balls are insanely weak. Okay, we need an evolution. We're gonna die. Spawns a mosquito each time it hits an enemy. Mosquitoes attack a random enemy, dealing... I mean, this is crazy. This will heal us, but we've got to survive. I don't know if the revive is going to clear the mini-boss. That might be a little too OP. But maybe it will. Oh, man. And a laser ball. We just have to survive this, man. The mosquito is going to heal the crap out of us. At least I think it will. I hope it will. Thank God. Look, I mean, look how... What a narrow margin that was. But with that... I mean, I think we might just be in the money now. Level that up. We've got multiple evolution options. We can freeze. I love the idea of making all the enemies take more damage from different sources. But I would love to just get another laser ball. Okay, despite the tough times we had a minute ago, we may be in good shape here. We just have to be able to clear... This is where we started sort of struggling last time. And we're not even feeling it. Oh, the balls are getting stuck in the back. No! Man, right as I started to talk some shit. Are we good? Are we good? Man, that was a close one, huh? Whew. We're still not out of the woods yet. Dark might actually be the ball we need, as it will dissipate and come back to me in such a way that I don't have to be worried about it getting stuck. It might not have the best synergies with what we currently have. Maybe it does, and I just don't know. But take the upgrades. I need the damage. Want to get the dark ball, shadow ball, whatever it's called. Leveled up. And we just focus on that for now. Come on, guys. You got it. You got it. Alright, second mini-boss. I don't even know if we've ever seen this guy. We probably have. Have we beaten this stage? I don't know. And I know we're probably about to have a bad time and take a ton of damage. Our revive is still active, though. If we need it, it still exists. So he's riding a mount, which gives us a little bit of like an HP bar indication. When the mount dies, we'll know we're doing okay. If the mount makes it all the way to the end of the field here, that was bad. We can't afford to take that kind of damage from projectiles like that. Okay, so the mount didn't make it all the way to the end, so we're already doing a bit better. But we don't really have the HP pool to take a million hits like we did last time. He's got to die. Damn, we're so close. We are so freaking close, man. Every time I'm healed, shoot baby balls. That's kind of cool. I don't know if we have the best build for that. The shadow ball's hitting for like 800. Can we do it? Come on, man. Come on, man. I ran into him. That was bad. Really need... Would have been nice to have a bull spawn in such a place we hit our own bull. Take the HP. Damn. I don't know. I feel like we were probably very close to killing him. Maybe me moving away from him allowed him to live when he shouldn't have. But we did it with some very low-level characters. Or a low-level character. And maybe if we had had some more higher-level characters involved with that, we could have made it all the way to the end. But that was super fun. And guys, I think I'm going to cut this episode a little bit short today. I was thinking of doing another run. But there is a farmer's market in my neighborhood today. And I would very much like to attend. Go for a nice little walk while the weather's beautiful in South Texas. Because it doesn't stay that way very long. It's either freezing cold in the winter. At least the last couple years it's been horrible. Or it's like 103 degrees in the summer. And summer, by summer I mean like for many, many months. Go ahead and bounce. Like we have like 9 months of summer in San Antonio. Ooh, that angle was just a little bit off. Anyway, guys, there's some pretty cool stuff at the farmer's market, and I would like to go pick it up, get my breakfast sorted. But thank you so much for watching. My name is Brett, channel's Good Talk Gaming, and as always, y'all, I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys.